I think a lot of people never find that purpose, and I don't know why.
That's frightening to them.
Yeah, yeah. Why can't we live up to our potential or find out what we want to? I mean, what blocks this connection to why we came here? Well, wait. You're going to say we came here. We're going to say there's a different reason why we came here.
No.
I know we came here to. Okay, I'll let you answer. You told me to let you answer.
I was just going to say that this is what I was saying earlier about confusion. There's a lot of qualities. I mean, this question, you know, I mean, you can talk abuse, you can, I mean, there's a lot of things that can ripple out and
block it.
Yeah, I mean, block our innate knowing.
Innate, yeah.
And what I wanted to say was, even to the point of sloth.
I love that word.
I mean,
it tells you what sloth means.
We have, you know, we have so much. I mean, even when I was a boy, I had Lincoln Logs, you know, electric trains, whatever. I mean, it's only become more of a disposable society. And so, I mean, the amount of wealth just some of us have, it can buffer us from really being able to get in touch with our heart and then follow our heart. And so what I call it is staying in the spin. We have good ideas, but we never get out of the spin. And the point is that if instead of having like a big vision and you have to get there, just put one little goal on the horizon somewhere and start breaking out of the spin, the dialogue that just keeps us spinning, and start taking steps toward it. And here's the magic thing. If you actually make it to the goal and you did it, you cultivate this incredible self-esteem because you did something. Yeah. But here's, you want to know where the magic is?
Yes.
Is because you got out of the spin and you started taking steps toward that point, all of a sudden there was this alley or this avenue going this way, and you took it. And all of a sudden you really found out what you wanted to do. But the only way you found out what you wanted to do was by first getting out of the spin.
Getting some momentum going.
Right, because the mind is tricky.
You know, I'm glad you said self-esteem, because I was going to say one of the things parents can do for children is to raise them with self-esteem. Then maybe they would find their calling or their purpose or their goals in life. When you raise somebody to have self-esteem, then they're not afraid to try things or to go for that goal or go for that dream. Don't you think so? Because you mentioned here as an adult coming out of that spin and getting self-esteem, and I was thinking even before that.
I kind of think the children have it.
Yes, but don't you think that sometimes they can get wounded?
Somewhere along the line.
When you said abuse, I thought about that. Parents that don't, you know, that abuse their children's self-esteem, that don't encourage their children. I mean, that can lay away a person.
Well, yeah, but abuse, what I'm saying, isn't just at a child level.
Isn't there also...
There's abuse at every level, you know, every age.
Oh, of course,
and so that's why I'm saying it compounds, you know. But confused mind is, I think, a big detour to whatever, you know, like, you know, I'll play my guitar, you know, I love to play my guitar, but I'm going to go do this instead of playing my guitar. Or I will do it when I'm retired, and when we get retired or whatever, many times as we're so hammered, so ready to shut down, we never get back to the guitar.
That's a big story, when we retire.
Yeah, it's always in the future, right? And what happens is when you cultivate playing that guitar, painting that, all of a sudden that point might show up. You know, somebody sees or hears your music or sees your art. You know, we got to be bold. You know, the empty-handed leap into the void.
Following your joy.
Following your bliss, like Joseph Campbell said, right?
Following your bliss.
But you got to be courageous, you know, I mean.
Don't you think also, in spiritual psychology, and because of the kind of work that I do, I'm always trying to give pieces to the puzzle of how someone can feel a trust to go in and do that work within, because most people have been conditioned to believe it's outside of themselves. So let's say a good percentage of disassociation has happened by the time they're 12 years old, and nobody around them is modeling that go within process, that spiritual process of discovering who you are as an individual, what you like, what you don't like. You know, more of the person developing more of an authenticness about yourself. Most people don't understand that that's possible in their life by getting quiet and asking the right questions. They don't know that they feel about something until they really get quiet and ponder it for a while, and there's a feeling here. It's like prejudice. Say, oh, I'm not prejudiced. And then they go down, and they go down deeper, and they see when they were a child that they were conditioned to be prejudiced, and now it's operating in the subconscious. So I think that to get the how am I saying? I'm trying to figure how to say this. The process today is not outside of us. If we're going to change as a species, get a closer relationship with a God force, it's really everything that a lot of the beautiful religions around the world have been saying as long as man has been on the planet. You have to go in. You have to find the answers within. And I'm sure that in your experiences with your teachers, wasn't that one of the first things that they taught you, was to get quiet and go in?
Well, most of these traditions are definitely meditation-based. And it's really interesting because from outside looking in, or a common view is like to do meditation to achieve peace of mind. And that's certainly a byproduct.
Yeah, it is.
But when you sincerely begin to practice stilling the mind, what really begins to occur after sitting for a few years or something, what you really begin to observe is the nature of mind, how the mind actually works. And it works kind of just like what's going on here, that dynamics arise in the mind, thoughts, feelings. If you put your attention on that thought or feeling, it's like kind of like sticking a tinker toy stick into another tinker toy. You know, you start building a mental formation, and you start over-identifying. Like, say I'm sitting here and all of a sudden I have some fearful thought. Well, if I keep my attention on that fearful thought, pretty soon I'm building this monster, and now I'm shaking, because it's as real in the mind as it is right here. Well, it's the same thing out here. All of a sudden, I'm sitting here, and here comes the woman in the red dress, right? So do I put my attention on the woman in the red dress, or am I able to not place my attention there? So it just begins to show the analogy of how we fixate. And it's not that it's bad. It's both good and bad. I mean, the bad part is it can sabotage everything we do. But if you don't place your attention on an idea for an invention, you'll never go from A to Z to make it happen. But if you put all your attention on some empty thought that was about jealousy or anger or greed or hatred, you're sitting in a room and all of a sudden you're ready to blow up the world.